What's up, YouTube? It's John here, and we are back with the UFC content. Let's go, baby. And obviously, UFC 298 is a stacked card. You know, we got Volk, we got Taporia in the main fight, we got co-main event, Paulo Costa and Robert Whittaker, Ian Gary and Jeff Neal, Marab versus Henry Cejudo. This is a great card, and I just want to talk about each fight from the main card, and I'll actually start from the bottom, the first fight, which is Anthony Hernandez versus Roman Kopylov. I think that's how you say it. So that fight, that's probably the only fight on the card that's like casuals are just like, who is that? Who are these people? But I know both of these guys very well, and they are like the complete opposite style. One guy, Anthony Hernandez, is gonna try to smother you, take you down, and submit you, and the other guy is, a kickboxer who's gonna try to knock you out, and has been knocking people unconscious. Like, what is he on, a 3-fight knockout streak, I believe? Dude is coming into his own as a striker, especially considering he lost his first 2 fights in the UFC. He is entertaining to watch. He has great kickboxing, great style, and who do I think is gonna win this fight? I don't know if we've seen Roman get tested with takedowns really in any of his fights. I think the only fight he was getting taken down that I can remember is his Albert Duraev fight, and he lost that fight. So that's a little bit concerning, especially considering Anthony Hernandez is better than him. It all comes down to takedown defense. If he could keep the fight on the standing, he can knock out Anthony Hernandez, who has been knocked out before. He's knocked out by Kevin Holland, and I don't know how to pick this one because they're both different and they both have vulnerabilities. But I'm gonna go with Roman. I think Roman, he's more exciting. I want him to win. So I'm gonna say he gets another knockout finish. Now we got the next fight, which is Marab Duvalishvili, sorry if I messed that up, versus Henry Cejudo. I think this fight is gonna be entertaining, even though they're both wrestlers. I think the wrestling is gonna cancel out in this fight, and I think it's gonna be a striking, like MMA. I think there is obviously gonna be takedowns in it and a lot of scrambles, but I think it's not gonna stay on the ground. So obviously, with that being said, who has the better striking? Henry Cejudo. So I think Marab, man, it's just gonna be a tough fight for him, because I don't think he can just bully Henry Cejudo like he has these other guys that don't have great takedown defense. Like, he can't span 50 takedowns in freaking 3 rounds. It's just not gonna happen, especially against a guy as good at wrestling as Henry. I feel like this is gonna be where Marab's win streak comes to an end. I think Henry's got this. Henry had a razor close, fight with Aljamain, and now, he's fighting Marab, who is not similar, but they both are, takedown artists. They're both, gonna try to do the same thing, just different way. And Marab, he's more of a get you tired pressure takedown style, which I don't think that's going to be as effective with Aljamain being a more control-based takedown artist. That would be more effective against a guy like Henry. So yeah, I think Henry's got this one. I'm going to say by decision, though. I don't think he's going to finish Merab, but I think Henry gets a decision here. Then we got Ian Gary versus Jeff Neal. This is going to be a banger. I might be most excited to watch this fight. I think everybody wants to see Ian Gary get knocked out for, kind of being a punk, You can't sit here and cry on the internet that people are making fun of your wife when you started it making t-shirts of a dude. Like, that's just weird.
Is this nigga serious?
You want to go that Kobe route, go that heel route by, trying to start beef with the fighters, by all means do it. He's not doing anything that we haven't seen before. It's just don't cry when people return the favor, and that's what he's doing, and that's why people don't like him. If he just owned up to it and was like, hey, my bad for making those t-shirts, I was just trying to sell the fight, I don't think anybody would be mad at him. But it was the fact he was trying to justify it by saying, oh, I'm selling the fight, oh, this is just, banter. Well, then don't be surprised when people return the favor. Like, obviously I don't agree with talking about people's family. I think that's a line that is, too far. But don't start something if you can't finish it. And that's what Ian Gary did. He started it with the t-shirt thing. So he's got the repercussions for it, and now, a lot of people don't like him in the MMA scene. And me personally, I would love to see Jeff Neal knock him out, because I think that would just be a good lesson for him, a good wake-up call, because he just can't sit around playing the victim. Like, that's not gonna get you, a fan base. Either play the heel and stick with it, like people like Kobe do, or don't be a heel, don't start stuff. You don't have to make t-shirts to somebody, that got arrested to sell a fight. But maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think Jeff Neal's gonna win this fight. I think that Ian Gary, he has great striking. I can't lie. He has great striking. He's almost Israel Adesanya, like, he's a master at range. He'll kick your legs off. He can, strike in all assets, but and he's got, knockout power, as we've, seen in some of his fights. But I think Jeff Neal, when he puts it together, I think he's one of the best welterweights in the world. And I think he gave Shavkat a close fight, even though he ended up getting finished. And I think Jeff Neal, when he's healthy, he can find a shot that can put him down. Ian Gary, he's been put down before by lesser talent. I think if Jeff Neal can catch his chin once, he can find a finish. So I think Jeff Neal knockout. Moving on, co-main event, Paulo Costa versus Robert Whittaker. This is a fight that is definitely interesting in the middleweight division. This is a #1 contender fight, probably, especially if Paulo wins, because I think that the UFC is trying to get, newer blood into the title shot. And I mean, obviously they've both had title shots, but Robert Whittaker's been up there multiple times. Paulo just had one. So I think this fight is going to be interesting, because Robert Whittaker's coming off of a knockout loss. Meanwhile, Paulo Costa, when the last time he fought was 2022? So this is going to be weird, because they're both coming out of bad circumstances. One has, a long layoff. The other has, a knockout loss. And I think this is a bad matchup for Robert, because coming off of a knockout loss, then you're facing one of the biggest power punchers in the middleweight division. That's probably not going to go too well. I'm going to be honest here. I think Robert Whittaker's chin now is a little bit shaky. I think he's done a great job with his defense, but I feel like Paulo knows his chin is a little bit rusty at this point, and I think Paulo Costa's gonna catch it. Obviously, Robert Whittaker's a great dude. Everyone likes him, but I think that his reign as a number one contender is, coming to an end, and I think Paulo Costa, Secret Juice himself, is gonna, get the knockout here. I think, yeah, stoppage for Paulo Costa. And then the main event, the main fight, Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria. This is a banger, and Volkanovski did a great job selling the fight this time. This is one of the best things I've seen in a while, in a press conference. He dresses up as an old man during the whole press conference. He's literally sleeping. He's like had the whole shtick, and he even had his own commercial. He's acting, like he's an old man before the fight. So props to you, Volk. Definitely did a great job, selling the fight. And then there's Ilia Topuria, who's becoming like a boring Conor ripoff. Everybody's saying it. He's trying too hard to be like Conor. Like, you gotta be yourself, bro. Make your own moments. Don't copy other people. He's copied Conor multiple times now, grabbing the belt, some of the things he said. It's getting boring. Like, I'm tired of seeing people try to copy Conor. Like, even though I love Ilia Topuria's fighting, I think he's gotta get better on the mic. But this is a interesting fight because this is another person coming off of a knockout loss, and arguably coming back maybe too soon as well. But at the same time, he's so tough. Volk is easily one of the best featherweights of all time, if not the best. I think Jose Aldo's the only other comp you could say in his prime. But yeah, we just have to see which Volk shows up. If it's a Volk that's hesitant because of the knockout, I think Ilia Topuria wins. I think he knocks him out again. But if we see a Volk that is like the Volk that's been dominating featherweights for the past few years, this could be a humbling lesson for Ilia. And honestly, as sad as I think it is, and as much as I've hated, Ilia Topuria's mic skills and, copying Conor, I do think he has the talent to knock out Alexander Volkanovski. And I think the confidence this man has is next worldly. He already's calling himself the champ right now. He's already, backing himself now. So I think he's going to shock the world and, do what Conor did or whatever and knock out Volk to, become the undefeated champion. I think that's going to happen. I think, Volk's time, at the top, it was awesome, but I think he is actually getting older, not just the meme, but I think coming off of a knockout loss, not a lot of time to recover. I think, yeah, Ilia's got this. But that's my main card prediction, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, peace.